Hello, and welcome back to Factorio. This is a between episode, so I'm going to do a quick recap of what's been going on this past week. And the big push has been to having a logistics network. So a bunch of things have needed to happen for that. Turn it off so we can actually see what's going on. Alright, so our refinery has been expanded out. We now are making lubricant, and then we are cracking heavy oil to light and light oil to petroleum. I've used an overflow valve here, so it only lets heavy oil go on for cracking as and when lubricant is running at full speed, which means at the moment there is no cracking. Then light oil has been cracked, and we're actually backed up on petroleum. So I would need a bigger draw on plastic or sulfur to draw down more petroleum. So this is our main refinery site. That's allowed us to put lubricant onto the bus, and that's allowed us then to expand out what we are making. So we had blue cards at the beginning of last time. We've added concrete. We've added a power pole factory. We've added explosives. We've added cliff explosives. We've added batteries. We've added electric engines. We've added robot frames. We've added robots and robot-related stuff. We've added an armory, which is busy making lasers and turrets of various flavors. And that's what we've achieved. Now, this has been at... Oh, the other exciting thing we've done is it's really noisy. We've changed our power generation over. So we are pulling oil out of this field. We are then turning it with standard oil processing into petroleum. Then that petroleum is going into these machines. And I've got a feeling I can run more than 4 of them off one refinery. We'll have a play with this and just start expanding out how many refineries we can run. Because I've got a feeling it's more than 4. But you can see this is entirely backed up now. In fact, it might not be more than 4. It might just be that we are not utilizing... Okay, so we're not utilizing the available power. Okay, but I think it is 4 of these turbines can be driven by a single one of these refineries. You can see we're really not denting this oil patch. So this is how we're going to be for a little while. I can just keep adding modules onto the end here. It all tiles. There we go. And if I put one of those down, by the magic of modern technology, it will get built, which is pretty cool. So, what next? If we come over here, this is our starting copper. There isn't any. So we've brought in an outpost train. This is our starting coal. We are very nearly out of it. So we've hooked up this coal here, which currently is supplying all our coal needs, but will not after a while. Then this is the starting iron patch. You can see it is absent. This is the starting stone patch. It is very nearly absent. So, we had previously hooked up an iron outpost, and this is doing a sterling job, supplying all our iron. Very happy with that. We don't have yet a stone outpost. And because stone is so integral to this mod pack, it's used for stone brick. We use sand for a variety of things, which is derived from crushing stone. So because there is no stone coming in, at some point the buffers we have on belts and in boxes at the end of smelters will run dry. Okay? And at that point, so this is all right at the moment, but it won't be. So we need to get stone fairly desperately. What I would like to try and do is push out for resources to the left, to the west. What's that? Iron, copper, raw, rare metal. Okay. I'd like to push out this way to try and get resources, and I'd like to extend out my factory this way. And at some point soon, I want to shift towards a modular build away from this bus. The bus was really there to get us to robots and trains. And at that point, I'd like to stop building lots of mini factories off the bus and start building mini factories which bring in resources. Okay, how are we doing? Okay, and if we go to logistics, yeah, now that I've unlocked logistics, I can use trash, which I couldn't use before. So the early game bots didn't let me trash things, which was frustrating. Slightly weird. Okay, so what is it that I want to do? I would like, while we're here, to have a bit of a think about what a module will look like. I would like total logistics coverage, total build coverage. I'd like it to be grid aligned, because then we can stamp it down and I always know that it's going to tile nicely. And I'd like the cells to be large enough that we can build in them, potentially after deleting roboports. So let's have a look what that would look like. So if we turn on our debug menu, here we are. So I could put down some power poles on corners. All right. So that's 3 corners. Now this mod pack, the power poles appear to reach further. Yep. How do we make lights? Because I haven't yet... That's a train requester. No, I just want a light. So glass, iron plate, copper cable. Do I have any factories which already have those materials? So coils, we don't have any glass. Glass, I'm not touching this. Science build. We have glass here. So glass, nope. This is the thing. Every single one of these builds appears to need unique and beautiful things. So it was glass, iron plate, copper cable. We have iron cable. So we have iron cable. We have no glass. Okay, we have no glass, and we have... What is this waiting for? Right, let's fix this build. Oh, this is turning into a silly, silly chasing problems thing. But let's fix it, and then we'll get back to designing a grid. Then what I'm going to do is, before we come back, I'm going to stamp down a lot of that grid. All right. Down here. Good. So this requires copper plate. So we need copper plate on here, which by coincidence, for want of an underground, Rome was lost. Okay, let's grab 1, 2, 3, 4. Good, and while I'm here, I can dump some creep in there. All right, so we have copper. Now we have repair packs. Yeah, this is capped. So then this can make copper coil. Good, that's a straightforward recipe. Just takes copper plate. We'll put that directly through to... Oh, hang on, we've got 2 types of lights. Glowing lamp. That requires an automation core. And this one. We don't have automation cores down here, so I'm not going to bother. So this is just going to be lights. Okay. And glass. We don't have glass. Should have brought glass in on the other side of this copper line. Okay, we can still do that. There. And we have glass here. Goodness me, how are we going to get this out? Okay. Sorry, not thinking very clearly. Alright, so down here and in. Let's hope this is glass and not something else. Yeah. Yeah, it is glass. Good. And then I'll have to find something which wants lots of copper. And here we are. Good. Alright, so I can dump some in there. I can dump some of this in there. But I think I'm reaching the point where all of these recipes are so unique. They all need such, you know, just for that recipe stuff, that the only sensible way to do it is with logistics bots. Okay, let's try and line this up. You can see we're already starting to be forced into a grid plan type build. Is this in the wrong place? Yeah, I must put that down wrong. All right. Okay, so we have lights. Good, and I'm going to grab... Actually, I'm going to request some lights. I'm trying to keep this vaguely organized. Brilliant. So, do I have some? No? Yes. Sorted. Right, let's head off. We're going to have another look at building a grid. And then what I'm going to... Oh, dear. Danger. So I think the thing to do is to start putting down prophylactic lasers. Right, where is it? Where is the thing that was eating things? Because it wouldn't have got killed by accident. Maybe it wandered into a gun, I'm not sure. Okay, this is complaining that it doesn't have power because we no longer make small poles. I can go there, and I'm going to trash the remaining poles I have just so they're available for those little repairs. Right, no idea. There must be a bug on the loose. So I'd like to make a grid plan. I'd like it to be pretty. I'd like it to be chunk aligned. I'd like a unicorn for breakfast. Alright, so let's grab this. So this is currently... Yeah, so this is 2x2 chunks. Alright, what is the reach on a... Okay, so if this was sort of at the corner, it well overlaps what's going on here. So I don't think a 2x2 chunk is the right size. I think we're looking at a 3x3 chunk. Alright, so let's come down here where we've got a bit of room. Let's... There. There. There, and There. Okay, so it just about fits on my screen, which I think is about the right size. So does this cover neatly with roboports? All right, so if I had one, let's set it up just on the corner of the logistics range. I'm not suggesting this is where it will finally be. There. All right. So how far apart are these in terms of electric poles? Not a sensible multiple of an electric pole. So they'd need their own pole. Now we could move out the middle ones. Right, if we're going to do that, let's have a look at where they actually are. So I could move it further away. The important thing is we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares there. And just to double check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now the issue with that is rail, right? Rail, can you see the rail doesn't fit nicely around the roboports. So we're losing a lot of real estate for rail designs. There. So if we move it out, then it's got 3 rails either side of it. Okay, so then this needs to be repeated here. And slightly depressingly, this is beginning to look a bit like a standard Nilaus grid, but obviously that's not what I was aiming for, but it looks like that's just the way these things are shaped. Now, if we grab this electric pole, we could move it to there. Okay, and then we do the same here. And here. All right, so it's, I guess, dealer's choice whether these are on the inside or the outside of the roboports. Let's check it does actually power up. I'd like to see it working. Good. All right, let's have a look on the map. So it looks like that. It's got coverage. Overlaps the edges by a single tile. That's not really a problem. All right, and in terms of a radar, so what radars can we have? So I've got these ones. These have, they consume 1 megawatt, and they have quite a big scan range. These ones require steel beams, rare earth metals. I don't have those yet. Okay, 20 seconds craft time versus 0.5. Yeah, rare earth metals. So that's something for later. So, but I don't think that I want to put a radar in this build, just because the radars in this mod pack have such massive range. Right. So the time has passed when I need to know if I have bricks in my inventory. I think that's a good size. I think 3 chunks is all right. Okay. So let's take a blueprint of that. And we're going to call this cell. Great, and we'll just put that down there. No, delete that. Awesome. And then later on, we'll modify this to include other elements like flooring, rail, all that stuff. So we'll end up with a very cellular modular build, I think. So in vanilla, this design wouldn't have quite worked because the power poles don't reach quite as far. So the plan now from me is to start extending this out to the west. We're going to start just building this infrastructure out, and then when we encounter local fauna and flora, we're going to disassemble it or laser it as we see fit. And I may leave some lasers behind on this build just to deter wandering neighbours. This will probably mean at some point we'll run low on power. But that's not a huge problem. I think we can just samp down more fuel. So, what I'm hoping to do next week is two things. I would like to... sorry, while I try and drive and talk at the same time. So I've got two goals for next week. I would like to get on to looking at the next science packs. And I would like to start putting down filtration systems everywhere. So I'm quite keen that the base be pollution neutral, if at all possible. I think that would be a nice thing. Right, so this is where we have a bit of a problem because our infrastructure was not originally chunk aligned, and of course we've built all over places where we would otherwise put down our chunk aligned blueprints. So we just have to pick a place. I would, if I was doing this sensibly from scratch, I would pick a I'd pick a starting point which was near spawn or at spawn, but I don't think that's going to happen. And of course this rail happens to totally line up with these power poles. Oh, I didn't put lights in. Well, that's annoying. Alright, so let's see if we can fix this blueprint up with lights. We'll head over here further, find a block where we can put this down, add lights, re-blueprint, and then start growing. So that's not going to work because we'll be in a separate Roboport network. Where else can I do this? This is always the problem with these kind of things, particularly when you're dealing with an established base to start with. Just finding the room to do the design. Okay, we'll stamp it down above here. Good. So this will go here. And I've got some cliff explosives, so that's not a problem. Okay, then I would like to get some lights. I did request some. We have some. That's good. And I'm not quite sure how much lighting I want. But I definitely want the corners lit. There, 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 there. I wish you could edit blueprints. That would just be such a nice thing. Right there. And all the way down here. Great, and then I think because at the moment I'm a bit paranoid, that. So it's just erring on the side of being able to capture some of the natives as they wander through. And with it being 2 lasers, it's more of a notification to me because it's more likely to aggro them than kill them. But it's just something so that I know that something has happened. Right, so this blueprint can now go away. Then down here. Sell. No, I didn't mean that. I meant that. Create the blueprint, put it in my inventory. I'm happy with this, so we can stamp this down multiple times. In the meantime, I need to join it up with home. And I'm hoping there's enough redundancy in the design that we can join it up around lakes and other inconveniences. We will see. So this should have joined in to the other power network. Pretty sure I don't want that. Let's get rid of that. Okay. And am I out of roboports? That's possible. Okay, so you see where this is going. Character logistics, roboports, 10 is ridiculous. 100, that's more sensible. All right, so let's have a look at... Yeah, so this isn't going to join up. I'll have to put another stamp here. Can I do this from space? Yes, I can. Good. It needs to join up at the corner. So I think this will all start to build out now. Anyway, this is basically going to be my life for a little while. So I'm going to start dragging this network out this way. And then as we meet the local fauna and flora, it will get mass deleted with the deconstruction planner and then mass embraced with lasers. So I will see you again next week. Some time will have passed in game and we will be ready to start looking at more processes, more productions, and basically having a jolly exciting time. So till then, thanks very much for watching. Please stay home, stay safe, stay well, and I will see you again very soon. Bye-bye.